If I'm brutally honest with you, unless you're preparing yourself for a hot dog eating contest, it is totally not necessary to be in a bulking phase. Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy MK for Life Sports. Welcome back to today's video. As you can see, my haircut's looking fresh. I just came back from the office, and you know, that's why, today I wasn't working from home. That's why the hair is looking so nice and dandy. Today's video, we're gonna talk about bulking. My personal experience with bulking, why bulking is totally unnecessary to build muscle, my bulking experience and my cutting experience in terms of building muscle, and the differences between muscle tissue and fat tissue, and why there's a misconception of people thinking you need to bulk to build muscle. So in order to talk about this thoroughly, I gotta bring you back all the way to 2018. It was 1 year when I decided to try to change my body and lose some weight. On this YouTube channel, you can actually see that I started my body transformation during 2019, but my actual body transformation started way back then. It's just I decided to record it since July 2019 because that's when I rebounded and I decided to start over. I'm gonna have a video discussing my process thoroughly, how my first year was, but it's not the issue right now. Right now I want to talk about bulking. So when I first started out, I was about 87 kilos. I was pretty fat, about 20% body fat. I was cutting down all the way to 82 kilos with my dietitian, Amy who I was working with. I was doing bodybuilding workouts, lifting weights in the weight room, and I didn't actually feel that I was getting stronger. I did feel that I was getting leaner, but I didn't actually feel I was building muscle, making any progress. Totally did not enjoy my diets and my workouts. So a good friend of mine that was playing basketball with me says, "Hey, Dvir, listen, if you want to build some muscle and pack some size, you need to bulk up." So after me being tired of maintaining my diet, I came back to my dietitian. After I gained about 5 kilos back, I went all the way down to 82, came back to 87, told him I had enough. I want to start bulking. I want to start eating. I want to grow big. And first month, it was actually going pretty well. My waist circumference wasn't changing, and I felt like I was getting stronger. My arm was getting bigger, and I thought, wow, this is actually working. But as the time went by, I noticed that I looked in the mirror and I was looking and feeling in the worst shape that I've ever been in my life. You know, it was after my basketball season, which maybe I'm going to talk about in the future, maybe not, when I won the championship and I felt athletic and light on my feet, is when I decided that I wanted to pack on a little bit of size. Not only did I not pack any size in terms of muscle, I also gained most of the size here. Could barely run down the court. I felt terrible. I couldn't even dunk just like I used to before. I went from the lightest that I was, 82 kilos, all the way to 97 kilos, almost 100 kilos. I think it's the most I've ever weighed in my life. And I looked in the mirror and I was shocked and terrified. Like, how could I get myself to be that morbidly obese? And one day I just had enough. Then I started dieting again and going down all the way to 92 kilos, and I felt frustrated. Then I decided to talk to my dietitian and say, why, what's going on? And he asked, "Dvir, what can we do to actually keep you in that same process? Try to keep you, maintaining your diet, maintaining your workouts." It's like, look, I hate my diet and I hate my workouts. I freaking hate those. So he told me, "You know what, Dvir, why don't you try CrossFit? I mean, if you totally hate the weight room so much, why don't you try that?" I know that some of you people watching this right now, and you've gone this far in this video, probably thinking, face palming yourself, another CrossFitter. But try to hear me out. I will talk about it in a different video about the best way to build muscle, because I think it's a video that many people actually need to see, because I learned a lot from this process. Again, in this video, we're going to talk about bulking and cutting in my personal experience. So I decided to join a CrossFit box. And this is where I decided that I wanted to change my body. It was a couple of months after I joined in. I really enjoyed the workouts. I felt connected. And on July, I decided to make a decision. I'm going to change my body. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to improve my physical looks, my strength. I'm using my YouTube channel as motivation. And you know what the funny thing is, guys? I built more muscle cutting doing CrossFit workouts than I was bulking doing bodybuilding workouts. It doesn't make any sense, right? Like, wow, I mean, how can you build more muscle doing something that's not the most optimal workout for building muscle and cutting, and still being able to build more muscle in comparison to bulking and doing bodybuilding exercises and not building muscle at all and actually losing most of that muscle? Well, it has a couple of reasons to it. It's the style of workouts that you do, but it's also the main differences between a muscle tissue and a fat tissue. Now, in terms of workouts, like I said, I'll make a different video about it. It's a whole subject in itself, and people need to understand it from the core. And my personal epiphany of what I had going through my personal experience, and right now I don't want to go into detail, but I'll talk about this in future videos. So let's talk about bulking versus cutting. See, people, and I've heard this throughout my entire life. Even one of my physical therapists in my basketball teams that I was playing for says, Veer, you're fat, you just got to work out in the weight room, and that fat will become solid and turn into muscle. Or some people looking at me is like, you look skinny as hell, you need to eat. Well, I was fat and I could barely move and I was out of shape because I looked skinny fat back then. I didn't have a lot of muscle mass, and like people took me for granted. They thought I was actually skinny. When I took my shirt off, they saw that I was actually fat. See, this is the dumbest thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. Take your fat, make it solid, and turn it into muscle. First of all, fat tissues and muscle tissues are two different things. It doesn't matter whether you're bulking or cutting. It doesn't matter. To build muscle, you need to eat adequate amounts of protein, drink enough water, have enough energy, and stimulate your muscle growth by progressively overloading your workouts, aka, like our favorite doctor likes to say, training harder than last time. Now, what is training harder than last time? We will also make a video about that in the future, talking about it. I have so many ideas you just don't understand, but these are topics that need to be separated into a couple of things. So let's just compare two people. I can take one person, person A, and person B. One is in a 500 calorie deficit, one is in a 500 calorie surplus. Let's just say they're both similar in height and weight, and they eat between 1.1 to 2.2 grams of protein per 1 kilogram of body weight. To you Americans and Canadians watching this video, I made the conversion from pounds to kilograms, so get used to it. I'm Israeli, I'm talking to the rest of the world, get with the program. But anyways, back to it. Guy A could be in a 500 calorie deficit and guy B can be in a 500 calorie surplus. As long as they're eating the same amount of protein, progressively overload at the same pace, time under tension, load, volume of repetitions. And when I'm talking volume, I'm not saying 20 sets of 3. I'm saying 4 sets of 15 instead of 4 sets of 12. Or 4 sets of 12 instead of 4 sets of 10, 5 of 15, whatever. And they have genetic similarities in terms of somatotype. They do all these things, they're going to build the same amount of muscle. Difference is, guy A is going to lose fat in the process, looking more shredded, while guy B is just going to look like a fat ass. Excuse my French. You don't need to bulk to build muscle. It's totally unnecessary. If I'm brutally honest with you, unless you're preparing yourself for a hot dog eating contest, it is totally not necessary to be in a bulking phase. You guys might think it's fun. Yay, I can eat tons of carbs, rice, salmon, maybe even McDonald's, Pop-Tarts, whatever. It sucks. Okay, it totally sucks. Even today, when I feel like I'm eating too much, I'm just throwing up. Like, when you're force feeding too much food, it sucks. You just don't want to eat it anymore. And when you're bulking, that's a pretty easy way to develop an eating disorder. Because think about it, first you're eating like a fat ass, then you're eating like an anorexic person or a bulimic person, and there are total instabilities. Instead of going the safe route of maintaining or keeping a low amount of caloric deficit, you're wasting your time, guys. If you're watching this and you have friends telling you need to bulk, you need to build muscle, you need to be bigger, forget about it. You know, they're not necessarily might be trying to hurt you or anything. They're actually trying to help you, but unfortunately, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, okay? You don't need to bulk to build muscle. You just need to increase the stimulus of your workouts. You need to have enough energy and drink adequate amount of water, and of course eat enough protein. You can watch Greg Doucette's channel. He has a video talking all about how you can build muscle, but at the end of the day, you do not need to bulk. Do not bulk. It's terrible. It's a waste of time. It has nothing to do with building muscle. It's a myth that is being debunked, that should have been debunked in the 60s, even back in Arnold Schwarzenegger's day, working out, but still lives to this day. And it's just unbelievable. You know, people get fat for no reason. Hope this video helped you out. If you like this, make sure to comment down below, subscribe to this channel, share the love, share this video, share this channel, share this content. Let's grow together. Let's change our bodies, change our minds, change our lives. I'm MK for Life Sports. I love y'all. See you in the next one.